Hi, I'm Mark Wein, and welcome to my lesson on the UnCAGED fretboard. We're going to be using the caged system to learn how to play any of our blues ideas anywhere on the fretboard. Now, you can use this concept for any kind of theoretical construct you've got, any kind of scale, arpeggio, whatever you have. We're applying it specifically to the blues because that's what these 5 lessons that we're doing here are about. This is going to help us with the next lesson. It's building off of the previous lesson. The caged system is one of those things that gets a bad rap because people generally tend to learn 5 box patterns and not know what the notes are relative to each other. They don't know how to use them in any way other than just go up and down the pattern. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking 1 octave's worth and we're going to learn where our chord tones are, just like we did in the last lesson. And we're going to build some phrases and we're going to move them all over the fretboard. We're going to be doing a handful of ideas in the video lesson. The download actually has pretty much the entire fretboard worked out, both with the dominant 7th chord that we were using for the 1 chord in last week's lesson, and also the minor pentatonic scale, which we used for the 4 chord. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the caged root system. Now, what we do with the caged system, for those of you who don't know what it is, we take each of your open chord shapes, the C shape, the A shape, the G shape, the E shape, and the D shape, and we pull the roots out of them. If it's a C chord, the root is the C. And the other 2 notes, the E and the G, we're not going to worry about. Once we've got those notes, we can move them around the fretboard, and then we can hang the rest of your theory off, which is what we're going to do later. The C chord, the 1st finger and the 3rd finger in that shape, those are going to be your roots out of that one. Right? And we can just move it up 1 fret so it matches your handout there. If we play the A shape, the notes on the 3rd string and the 5th string are the roots. So I'll make the shape like this with my 1st and 3rd fingers, or even 1st and 4th fingers. To make it match, we're going to move up to the 4th fret with that. That way we're playing C sharp. Now notice there's the C shape where my 3rd finger is. I'll put my 1st finger, and then I'm playing the same notes just in a different position. This concept is going to become pretty important later. The G root pattern, we have roots on the 1st and 6th strings. Remember that they're the same notes. And then the open G string is going to be the 3rd note. This makes kind of a really wide stretch here. I'm going to move it up to C sharp for you to make it a little bit easier for you to finger. 1st finger on the 6th fret, 3rd string. Pinky on the 9th fret on the 1st string. And then your 3rd finger on the 9th fret on the 6th string. If you can't play this, just make sure you know where those notes are. It's kind of a wide stretch, but if you can do it, actually it's kind of good for your hand too. It's like hand yoga. The E shape also has notes on the 1st and 6th strings, and then on the 4th string. So if we move it up to C sharp here, we've got the 9th fret again on the 6th string, 9th fret on the 1st string, and then 11th fret on the 4th string. The last shape is going to be your D shape. The open D note on the 4th string and then the 2nd string D are going to be your root. So if we move it up to C sharp, you've got 11th fret on the 4th string and you've got 14th fret on the 2nd string. If I go through all 5 of these shapes in C sharp, so there's your root patterns that we're going to be working off of. All right, let's build some phrases. We're going to start off with the C shape here. Now, within that C shape, we've got the 3rd, 5th, 6th, minor 7, and then the root again. If we took one of the phrases that we started the solo with on the last lesson, the example solo, slide into the 3rd from a half step below, 5, 6, and then the root, you can kind of see how that fits there. If we were to move up to the A shape here, I've got those same notes arrayed in there. There's the 3rd, 5th, 6th, there's that 7 again, and then the octave. 3, 5, 6, and then the root. I can even, if I borrow a higher octave out of the next pattern, 3, 5, 6, then the root there. If I come up to the G pattern, 3, 5, 6, root, also 3, 5, 6, and that's the root. Out of the E pattern, this one will look kind of like the A back here. 3, 5, 6, root, root, and then the octave higher, 3, 5, 6, root, root. The D shape, we've got 3, 5, 6, root, root. The minor pentatonic scale obviously is going to have a different assortment of notes here. We've got the root, minor third, or flat 3 on your page, the 4, there's the 5, and there's your minor 7. And then you got your octave there. We're just going to take something simple, root, 3, 4, 5, 3, root. Alright, if we were to move up into the A pattern, it's right there. I can even an octave higher. Alright, if we come up to the G pattern, G, there's the minor third, 4, 5, and then the minor 7. I can even do it in the same root pattern, but an octave higher from that. Alright, we come up to the E pattern. We've got it there. We've got it there. And then also for the D pattern. What we've done today is we've given you something of a roadmap for the fretboard. Now, instead of doing the full cage system scale pattern deal, what we've done is we've divided each one of them up into 1 octave bits. And with those 1 octave bits, you can play an idea in one place, and as long as you're keeping track of what the scale tones or the chord notes are, you can move them anywhere else on the fretboard. Go through the PDF that's supplied with this lesson and make sure that you're comfortable doing this everywhere in any key that you want to. You're going to find that any vocabulary that you already have can be repurposed and moved around pretty easily.